Hello, Gothic literature lovers and horror fans. I am jslarmore, aka Jax, and today I have Marc Tizura and Suzanna Lundale in the studio. We will be discussing their upcoming Kickstarter project, the Hyperion. So, without further ado, welcome to Ravens and Writing Desks. Hello, Marc Tizura and Suzanna Lundale. Thank you for joining me on Ravens and Writing Desks. I'm so excited to have you here. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Doing great.
Really
Glad to be here.
So, how is the Hyperion coming along? You guys are about to close on the submissions, right?
Yes, we are. We close on Thursday the 9th. And then Suzanne and I will be going through the submission pieces and choosing who we're going to take into the anthology and who is going to be put on, not going to make the cut.
Yeah.
So it's a very exciting time right now. We've been getting some really great submissions. We've even gotten some from over in the other side of the pond. As far, we got one from India. We got one from India yesterday. So
wow,
like I said, it's kind of spread kind of far and wide. Wasn't expecting it when we started it, but very pleased from where it's going right now.
That's fantastic, and I love that.
Yeah, that diversity is amazing. We've got 4, arguably 5, because there's a writer who's from a 5th continent, but who no longer lives on that continent. Continents represented among the people who have submitted. We've got men and women. We've got at least one non-binary author who has submitted. We've got also a huge diversity of approach. There's some that are more traditional, horror approaches, and some that are coming from a very different understanding of the prompt, and a fantastic one. So I think it's going to be a fantastic book.
That's exciting. I love to hear that. There's so much of that because so many people now are working remotely and collaborating remotely that we are getting so much diversity in anthologies and projects, and I love that, and I'm so excited that you guys have gotten that too.
Oh yeah, just very pleased by it. Very pleased by it because with any project like this, you don't know how far it's going to go, how much of a reach you're going to have, and I know we've been plugging away at it since October of last year. We both had to kind of take a break during Christmas time, and because work gets very busy for the both of us around there, and then we just picked it back up in January. And like I said, like Suzanne just said, and like I've said, the results have been absolutely amazing. And for a first project, because we do have other projects lined up as after the Hyperion is released.
That's exciting.
Very exciting.
So remind everyone a little bit about the premise for Hyperion and what it's about.
So the Hyperion is based off of a prompt I did for a writing game called Fast Prompts, which is every Saturday night. And the prompt was 13 floors. And I came up with this idea of a building in Chicago that appears once a year. And it has 13 floors. And each floor has a denizen from hell. And they'll tell you their story of how they ended up in hell, why they're in the Hyperion. But so everybody kept telling me this is a really good idea. You should really do something. And after I made the initial post, I tweeted out the concept of getting a Kickstart, getting other authors together, this, that, and the other thing. And people seemed interested, but then I just kind of shoved it on the back burner. I started working on other things, and then I just happened to meet Suzanna, and we started talking. And I told her about the idea of the Hyperion. Of course, at the time, it wasn't called the Hyperion. We both came up with that name. So she said, "This sounds like a great idea. Let's do this." So both of us kind of just took the proverbial leap, and here we are. And we made a main character that is supposed to represent the reader as he goes through the Hyperion. It's a urban explorer by the name of Braden Winchell, and basically you are. The writing is supposed to be Braden going through the Hyperion and meeting these characters in the 13 floors and experiencing what is truly inside the Hyperion once the Hyperion has chosen Braden to enter it, because that's the way it works. The building chooses the person to go in.
Oh, okay. And is there how do I say that? Does he have parts like stories, pieces, and who's writing that? If he does,
Oh,
how is
I,
he?
I'm handling those. I'm handling for. I'm going to be handling the opening and the closing of the anthology. I'll
Okay.
also probably be handling the in between the stories when he's wandering the hallways. So, and
Okay.
of course, Suzanna will be putting her input in there too. So it'll be a co writing, but on the whole, for those parts, it will be handled by Suzanna and I. And then when he gets into the rooms, that's when we're going to enter into the other writers and their pieces and the characters they've created
Okay.
to
Very cool.
reside in the Hyperion.
That's very cool. How did you guys come up with the name Hyperion?
We were just throwing names out, and Susanna threw it out, and it felt yeah, that felt good.
I think I go through phases where I get a little obsessed with various themes, and I think I was on a kick about um, the whole theme of Icarus and flying too close to the sun and themes around that, and I think that Hyperion came from that department of my brain, which
Oh,
was
very
in the
cool.
dominant at that point. So I just suggested
Okay.
it.
And,
I
and,
like
and, for,
that.
and for those who don't know, Hyperion is the Titan of light.
Okay.
He's the Titan of light and day and everything. So
So some mythological themes thrown in there and
yep,
mixed in.
yep.
Very cool.
Kind of ironic it being such a dark place to be named after a Titan of light.
Yeah.
So there you go.
No, that's interesting, and I want to see how I'd like to see how you guys play with that.
Mm.
So that's exciting. And do you guys still do the Saturday prompt that brought this all along?
We do. We
Mm-hmm.
do. Susanna and I do it every Saturday. It's a fun prompt. It really is. It's 5 prompts. It's every a prompt is released every 12 minutes. So it's basically an hour of play. They give you a picture, they give you a phrase, and you write from inspiration for either the phrase or the picture. Done. They're
And
on their
how
they're on the 79th prompt now. So yeah. Yeah, the game's really fun. I recommend everybody in the writing community go try it out. It's because it really is an exercise in quick writing. You gotta boom boom boom.
can you tell everybody how they can participate and let you know who to follow?
Fast Prompts has a Twitter account. It's Fast Prompts. And Jessica Lehman, she is one of the people who run it, and
And
Katie
KT in DC. Mm-hmm.
is another one who runs it. Both their names are on the Fast Prompt account, so you can follow either one of them there.
As always, I will put this all in the description when the video posts, so you guys can find them if you want to participate in the fast prompt, which sounds really cool.
A lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. I evangelize hard for it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd love to try it. That sounds awesome. It's really exciting. So, whenever I talked to you before, Suzanna, you said you don't this horror genre is kind of out of your comfort zone, right? Tell me about that. How did you get mixed in with Marc, who writes a lot of horror and loves horror movies? And tell me how
I
you
do
got
like
all into this.
I like darker themes, vampires, and just one of my longtime obsessions is gray areas and things that can neither be black nor white. And so I follow Quill and Crow. I had a piece come out in their magazine, and I think all 3 of us follow Quill and Crow,
Oh, yeah.
So I used to I think that was the first prompt I did, and so I have a lot of friends in that community who are sort of dark stuff plus horror, most of you, and then I'm just not so much the horror, but I have a lot of friends in that, and so Marc and I met through some conglomerate of mutual friends, and just got to be friends and got to talking more, and then when Marc mentioned this project idea, obviously that led to us talking a whole lot more often, because I think it's a great idea.
Okay, that's awesome. So, how are you handling all the spooky stories and?
I
One
don't.
at a time.
Yeah, I don't get for like I don't do horror movies much, but stories are okay, and so it doesn't bother me. There's nothing there that maybe when I was younger I wouldn't have been willing to do that, but they don't bother me. I can
That's
enjoy
good.
them.
That's good. Okay. You guys are funding this project through Kickstarter, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
So when does that drop, and how much detail do you have that you can share with me now on the Kickstarter?
The Kickstarter is officially, we're going to officially drop the Kickstarter on April 25th.
Okay.
So that will give Samantha, Suzanna. I'm sorry. I was thinking of one of her writers. It's too many names. That will give Suzanna and I ample time to go through the pieces with a fine tooth comb, make all the final decisions, reach out to the authors and the poets who have submitted to us, and tell them whether or not their story has been accepted or rejected by us. And just it will give us a lot of leeway there. And then I know I left Suzanna in charge of organizing the tiers, so I'm gonna let her talk about that portion of this project. But yes, the Kickstarter will be dropping on the 25th of April.
Okay.
Yep. We're gonna do a quick 30-day campaign. That seems to be best practice for this kind of project. And we've got everything from your very standard bottom tier, you can get a digital copy of this book, to getting a physical copy, to we're looking into various merch possibilities that can be in some cases add-ons, like maybe some stickers or something, and in other cases actual rewards, reward tiers. And then we've talked about some various possibilities that we haven't fully finalized, but things like having your name go in a story, having a story or poem written for you, custom, by either one of us, and then even at the very top tier, I think something along the lines of some developmental editing. If someone wants some one-on-one developmental editing help, we will offer to a very limited number, because obviously time wouldn't allow.
We offered that as a tier whenever we kickstarted the Dark Side of Purity, so it works, and people want that kind of help. So
I think we talked about a special edition version of the book too, as one of the top tier items at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Like a limited edition, like a special cover and autographs of the authors type deal. So
that's a good idea. Like we did that. I think we did that too with the Dark Side of Purity. We offered some alternative covers, and then we had a zine that came out with an alternative cover, and stories where we did a contest for people to submit to the zine, and then that was one of the reward tiers. So I think you guys will have some really great ideas, and it sounds good. I'm excited for it. So April 25th, their Kickstarter will drop for the Hyperion. Sounds exciting.
Please consider donating, please. Thank you.
Yes, please watch their Twitter accounts. They will leave the information, They will post updates and information about this when it's time to donate. So watch that, and all of their socials will be in the description when the video posts. So has this been taking up all of your time, or what other projects are you working on?
Right now, this is mostly the only project I'm working on right now. I'm not writing much over in the Pantheon at the moment. I don't have anything lined up for Thanatos, who I've been writing for the last 4 years. I have some ideas, but I haven't been able to have any really, big thoughts over there. And I've been doing the TikToks. I've also been talking about some of my real life paranormal happenings over there as well.
Yes.
So.
And I want to talk about that. What about you, Suzanna? What are you working on besides the Hyperion?
Well, it's not enough for me to have a double life. I have a triple life, because I not only have a mainstream and spooky stuff writing career, but I also have a romance writing career, romance and erotica. So I just had a novella come out in a Valentine's collection in February. It it had some paranormal in it because it's still me, but not all of my romance books have paranormal. So I do that, and I try to stay active with that. And then I'm also working on a couple of books of my own, but they're coming a little more slowly since we started this, because this does take up some time. So far, not a huge amount. It's the kind of thing that takes time in rushes. So from now until the end of the Kickstarter, and well, really from now until the book being in people's hands, it's going to be a lot more work.
Yeah.
So I've always got a lot going on.
And what is your pen name for your romance?
That's Sophia.
Check that out.
Yeah, that's Sophia Gioconda, and the Twitter handle for that is La Sophia Gioconda. Sophia because it's a name I like a lot, and it means wisdom. And Gioconda, who was the woman who posed for the Mona Lisa, with whom I identify very strongly with her sort of hidden smile thing. She's one of my big icons.
I love that.
No.
Okay, very cool.
That's good.
I love that.
It's very good.
Yeah. So that and will be in the description again, of course. So, Mark, you brought up some haunted stories.
Yeah.
If anybody's seen any of my previous interviews, we like to get a little ghostly on this podcast. So let's dig into your little ghost stories and let's talk about it. Tell me some paranormal stuff.
I there's this one that I kind of like. I do security work. That's my 9-to-5 job. That's my day job. I was at a property out in Hanover Park, Illinois, called Larkspur, and it was what we call a walking account. It all the streets dead end, so you couldn't drive a vehicle through. So you had to walk around the perimeter. You had to walk up and down the streets. It was like 5-6 blocks long, and I would walk that for like 5 nights. So I'm walking down the street, and one of the residents stops me and goes, "Hey, Mark, you training tonight?" I was like, "No, why?" He goes, "Well, there's 2 big guys behind you." So I turn around and look, and the resident goes, "Oh shit, they're gone." I was like, "What do you mean they're gone? I'm not training anybody. What they look like?" He goes, "Oh well, they were really big. They're muscular. You look like bodybuilders. They were wearing this identical security uniform I was. They were both bald. They had tattoos. One was black, one was white, and they were like following right behind me." And I told the resident again, "No, I'm not training. I'm alone." And I actually spent the rest of my night like looking over my shoulder, like, "What the hell?" Now here's the other part of the story. Since I don't drive due to my eyesight, I can't drive, so I had to get picked up because all the buses would stop running that would take me out there, and it'd be either my mom or my significant other. So that night was my mom. So I got into the car, and my mom looks at me and goes, "Were you training tonight?" I was like,
"Oh gosh,
no, why?" She goes, "Well, there were these 2 really big bald guys following you behind you, holding like LED lights. So when they stepped off in the darkness, all I could see were the lights going up and down, up and down." I was like,
chills.
"Oh, I wasn't training. There was nobody with me. I swear." And so that's one of my many experiences. I've had some from when I was a kid. I can recall one of my very first paranormal experiences as a kid was there was this woman who would sit at the edge of my bed at night and watch over me, and she was composed of like purple light, like a lavender purple light, and she would just sit at the foot of my bed and watch me sleep. And I wasn't. Now, here's the thing: I wasn't afraid of that woman. I was never afraid of her. I called her Angela. I was never afraid of her, but as I got older, she kind of like faded away, I guess.
Yeah.
I lost the ability to see her, however it goes. But I was 2, and that's one of the earliest encounters I remember having. I would wake up to see this woman. She had black hair, very, very young. I would say she was like in her 20s or something. But she just had this purple lavender aura light around her all the time. and she would sit at the foot of my bed and just watch me.
Ooh.
And again, I was never freaked out by her. She didn't freak me out. For some odd reason, my 2-year-old self thought this was completely normal. This was normal. That's everybody had one. And when I talk to people about her, they're like, "You got
No.
what at the foot of your bed?"
Oh God.
But
Yeah.
she was there. So that's another one. I think one of the creepiest ones I had was the doppelganger. I actually saw a doppelganger, my doppelganger. I saw him. I did a video of that, and that got.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was what happened was my coworker Dan over at the building I'm working now. He went on vacation, and since I'm the second at the building, he's the head doorman. I'm the second. They pushed me into his shifts to take over the role of the head doorman. So it's like 4:00 in the morning. I'm getting ready to leave. I step out of the kitchen, and literally I'm sitting on the couch in my suit, in my hat. I look at the doppelganger looks at me, he tips his hat, and like that, he's gone. He vanishes, just poof, gone, like he was never there. I think I stood in the dining room like
That's so creepy.
for like 2 minutes before I decided to go forward because I don't want something coming back. So
That is so creepy.
That's another one. Let me think, because they've been, and sometimes they're not big, and sometimes they're not big at all. It's just like I'm in a location or a building, and something comes by and whispers in my ear.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can only make out a word. Sometimes I can't make out the words. Once in a while it sounds panicked and rushed, and then it's as quickly as it came, it's gone. I have EVP stuff on my phone. I turn it on occasionally, and I most recently was I asked the empty lobby of my building during my overnight shift, "Are you here to stay, or are you just passing through?" And I had 5 voices come through at the same time saying, "Just passing, just passing, just passing."
Wow,
So,
I would love to hear that.
Stuff like this.
That's cool.
That's so cool.
I wasn't expecting it. I didn't hit the record button, unfortunately. That's another thing. These happen, and I don't have my phone on me, or I'm not around any like recording devices. So all I have is what I've seen, what I tell people. It's not like a lot of these people capture it on camera with the doors slamming and everything. I don't have many paranormal. I don't have many poltergeist events. There was one time there was a poltergeist event, and that was at a vacant lot on one of the properties I worked. People would report screams coming out of there. So my brother was working for the same company as me at the time, and we both went to investigate. And an ashtray went like right off the mantelpiece, and it smashed in the wall between the two of us. And you're like, "Let's go!" And I was like, "Let's go!" He goes, "Let's go!" And we walked out, closed the door behind us, got back in the car, drove off.
Yeah, I don't blame you. What about you, Suzanna? Anything paranormal ever happen?
I've had a couple. Shortly after my grandfather died, I had I was convinced that I was born to older parents, and my mom was born to older parents. So my grandpa was born in 1896, and died in the 80s. And so he's been gone a long time, but I was, I think, 9 when he died. And I had a situation where I was like flooded with the aromas that I associate with him. So like it was like mothballs and Werther's butterscotches and a hint of gin. And and it was just like it was overwhelming, and it was very brief, and like we were in the car, so there was no ambient possibility of source, and it just was there. And the other one, I've never known if it was real or not, or if I was just being overly imaginative. My mom is a retired Spanish literature professor, and so through her work, we've been able to go to Spain a lot. When which would obviously be too expensive for most people, but we used to go every other year when I was a kid, and so I've seen a lot of castles and ruins of castles and things in Spain, And one time we were in Extremadura in the far west, and we were taken to see a ruin that had an oubliette, which is for those who don't remember or don't know the name for it. It's a hole that pretty much goes straight down, and it was a place where prisoners would be put to be in solitary confinement, and there's often like just a grate over it, and they were exposed to the elements, and they might be left there until they died, or they might be left there just for a while. It's French for belly button, so because it's like a belly button in the earth, and so we went to a ruin and saw an oubliette, and it's this is like a 12th century ruin. It had been obviously abandoned for a very, very long time, but I was absolutely convinced that I felt people there, I felt tormented people there, and I was 14, so who knows if it was, how much of that was coming from my understanding of what the place was and how much was real, but it made, I can remember the feeling now, and I'm 45, so it made a really big impression on me at the time. So I can't think of any others specifically.
We lived in this, I've had a lot of experiences, but specifically we lived in this house for a while, and it was never really scary, but the radio station would change all the time, or it would come on by itself. But one night I was sitting, and we had a door that went into the hallway, and then a closet, and then the kitchen, and the couch was right by that closet. So I could see down the hallway from the couch and into the kitchen. And I was sitting on the couch, and I saw my daughter out of the corner of my eye walk past that door to the hallway. And I kept waiting for her to come around from the kitchen to see what she wanted. And I waited for like 2 or 3 minutes, and she never came around, but it was just a little short walk. I should have just taken her a second. So I was like, well, where'd she go? And I got up and I went to check on her, and she was asleep, like butt in the air, drool on the pillow, asleep. There was no way she had come and walked through there. So I don't know what it was, but I saw a kid walk by, and I was like, ooh, okay. That wasn't, I don't know what that was, but
could have been a mimic, or your daughter project for the moment.
Yeah, it was weird. But I know,
sounds like it.
The radio always turned on, and when I was home alone, I never felt like freaked out there, but I'd be like in my bedroom cleaning or something, and the radio would come on to like my favorite radio station. But when everybody was home, it would turn on to this really old country station. But when I was there by myself, it would turn on to this rock station that I always listened to. So I was like, oh, I guess we're cool.
Yeah, let's consider it.
Hey, they like you. They like you.
I guess we're buddies.
They like you. Exactly. They know what radio station you like. Let's be friends.
So, do you guys want to play this little game I have set up for you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Suzanne, you good? Let's do it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna put. Let's see here. I'm going to put a picture on the screen, and you tell me who it is. Whoever gets it first will get the point. Okay. Let's see who's first. We will go with the easy one first.
Easy one first. Okay.
Oh, that's that sexy guy from that's
Lucifer,
the Antichrist guy. The Lucifer guy.
Okay, well, she knew who it was, but Mark said the name first, so I'm gonna have to give it to him.
That's fine. I had the important part.
You did. That was the important part. That was the important part.
Got it. Nailed it. Oh my god.
Technically, okay. I'm looking for the demon's name here, but I guess I will accept the possessed person's name.
Okay, cool. That is Zazu. Pazuzu. Close. That's it. Pazuzu.
There you go.
And she is possessing Reagan from the Exorcist novel and movie.
Very good.
I forgot what Reagan's last name is, but the actress is Linda Blair.
Yes. Good job.
You only get half credit. You only knew 99 facts about it.
Only 99 facts. Okay.
McNeil. That's it. Reagan McNeil.
There you go.
That's the character's name. Reagan McNeil. See, I knew it'd come to me eventually. The Rolodex is a little slow tonight.
Is that Chucky?
Annabelle.
Annabelle.
No, that's Annabelle.
Oh.
From The Conjuring.
No, yeah,
That's one of
Chucky's.
Ed and Lorraine Warren cases. They turned into a film. The real Annabelle doesn't look like that, though. The real Annabelle looks like a Raggedy Ann doll.
She sure does. She is in
Mhm.
Zach
Because
Bagans'
she's been featured on
museum.
Ghost Adventures and a couple other paranormal hunting shows, like The Haunted Collector and stuff like that.
I think she's in Zach Bagans' museum now, permanently.
Oh, did you finally acquire? I know he was trying to for a while, but
I think so.
the
Last
Warren
time I
estate,
watched
the
it,
Warren estate was a little iffy to give it to him, so I don't know.
I think that he finally did get it.
Okay.
Okay, this
I'll
one
look
is
that up. That looks like Cole from Charmed. His demon name was Balthazar, and he was played by what's his name? That Australian actor. He played Doctor Doom on the Fantastic Four movie. He was on Nip and Tuck. Julian something? I don't.
I can't remember his name, but yep, that's right. It's Balthazar.
Well,
I was gonna say it was Darth Maul, but not quite right.
A lot of demons look like him after Maul out. That was kind of the thing. Even in the movie Insidious, they kind of gave the demon a Darth Maul kind of look. It was popular. Maul's a very popular character. That's why they brought him back in the Clone War cartoons, because everyone's pissed off what happened to him in the movie.
Okay, this one might be a little bit harder because they didn't technically have a corporal form, really, but you might get it from a clip from the movie.
Oh, the twins who say, "Come play with us," and forever and ever and ever.
That's from one of the. No, that's from one of the Paranormal Activity movies. Unfortunately, I don't know what one this is from or what the character's name is. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I'm gonna have to give up. Throw the towel on this one.
That was pretty good. Still, the demon's name was Toby.
Toby. There's been so many. There's so many of these Paranormal Activity movies. It's hard to keep up with them sometimes. Toby.
I know. I stopped watching them because they got ridiculous.
A buddy of mine was actually standing for one of the demons on Insidious, so he had a fun time on set. So, because they were filming that here in Chicago at one point. Ooh. That's from Heredity.
Yes.
I absolutely detested that movie. I thought it was a piece of crap.
Really? Aww.
Yeah, I did not like it. I was bored. I was bored as hell with that movie. I was actually so bored, I don't even remember what the character's name is, but I do recognize him from Heredity.
His name is Payman. King Payman.
Payman.
Okay, there we go. Let's move him. Next.
So that's the nun. That's the nun.
Remember the name of the demon?
No, but I remember the character. That's the nun.
I'll give it to you because it is the nun, but the demon's name was Valak.
Valak, okay, right. That was creepy though.
I haven't seen all of the Conjuring movies.
I've only seen. She was creepy.
I'm so bad at keeping up with series like that.
I'm usually pretty good. I've always had a movie Rolodex inside my head. It's like IMDb's up here most of the time. I don't remember because it's been a while since I've seen them, and some movies I just was so bored. Oh, this is the possession. What is her name? It's like right on the tip of my tongue.
Looks familiar, but I definitely don't have the name on the tip of my tongue.
Is that the possession of Emma Rose?
No.
No. Shoot. Okay. If it's not that one, then I think it might be The Last Exorcism.
It is The Last Exorcism.
What was the character's name? All I can remember the preacher's name was Cotton. Shoot. All right, last exorcism. That's it.
The demon's name was Abalam. Abalam. Apparently. I think I'm saying that right.
My Rolodex is failing me this evening.
You're doing pretty good.
I can do better.
Let's try this one.
Oh, that's the movie. Is that the Time Is on My Side movie?
It is that movie, yes.
I saw that twice in theaters. I own that on DVD. That's Fallen. The demon's name was Azazel. The murderers played by Elias Koteas, who was Casey Jones in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. Edgar Reese. That was the murderer's name. Edgar Reese. The demon was Azazel, though, and that is a demon who was, when he was cast from hell, was devoid of form, and he was the spirit of the wilderness.
Yep. Very good.
I actually did use that concept in one of my ongoing stories that I often tell in prompts. The ghost goat Mort. His backstory that has not been revealed is that he was a time magus, and he got tricked into going to a place. His power is, apart from walking in time, his power was that he could go into other creatures. So he was tricked into I think I said it in one prompt story. It was like the late fourth dynasty of Egypt or something. But he was tricked into a place where there was nobody he could switch into, and then killed. But there was a goat, and so he managed to switch into the goat, and managed to get back to a time where he hoped he could find some help, and he ends up hooking up with the League of Antiheroes and her CEO, and becomes her sidekick. But he's still trying to get a human body back, and that the idea for that came from that movie, which I somehow was dragged to see, even though that was really way too scary for me.
I love that movie. I was not little, but pretty young when it came out. But I was obsessed with that movie.
It came out in '97. I was 13. I remember this at the theater, and the poster caught my eye, and the tagline caught my eye too. And I was like, I have to see this movie now. This is what I have to see. And like I said, I loved it so much. I saw it twice in theaters.
Yeah,
I own it on DVD. I just absolutely great movie. Denzel Washington, John Goodman, late great James Gandolfini, Donald Sutherland.
It's a great movie. Yeah. I think I was 11 in 1997, but yeah, I was obsessed with that movie too.
Wow, I was a junior in college, y'all.
Oh.
Yes, so these beautiful demons, they're all so lovely.
No idea.
I
don't even think I've seen the movie this is based on, or where this comes from.
This is actually a really great movie. So if you haven't seen it, you should. It's The Possession.
Okay, The Possession.
The demon's name is Abizu, and it's based on a Dybbuk box.
Okay. I'll add that to my list.
Yeah, the dad buys a Dybbuk box at a garage sale, and this little girl gets possessed. It's pretty fantastic.
You gotta be careful of those things.
Yeah. It's pretty creepy.
The Possession. Okay, I'm going to add that to my list of movies to watch at some point. Possession. Oh, that's Poltergeist.
Yep. And he is called...
I don't know.
Just the Beast, apparently.
The Beast. Okay. I didn't even know he had a name. I really didn't. All I know is it's from Poltergeist. I've seen the movies. I just didn't know he had like a name. I couldn't recall.
Yeah, I didn't either until I started looking all these up.
I know I've seen it, but as I'll take your word for it, The Beast. Fine.
It's been a long time for that one. I haven't seen it in a while.
I somehow missed that one.
I should probably have put names on these. That would have been smart.
That's all right.
Well, now you know for next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. There will be a next time, of course, naturally.
Okay. Well,
I know this one. This is the Beast.
Oh,
That's okay.
you got it. You did it.
She knew down there. She knew.
All right. Well, it's not wanting to
Was it
process.
Zool?
Huh?
Was it Zool?
This was
No, I had a couple more from Supernatural.
oh shoot!
I
Oh,
That's
know.
one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite shows.
I know. It's my favorite. One of my favorite shows too.
Oh, I watched all 15 seasons of that like religiously. I'm like, ooh, what are them boys up to tonight?
I haven't watched the 15th season because I don't want it
Oh,
to be over. So
it's good. It's good. The 15th season's
I
good.
know. I just
It,
don't want it to be over.
I know it hurt. It hurt to watch it, but you know it was good. I say watch it. Watch it.
I will someday when I'm emotionally prepared.
And we're emotionally ready. Yeah. No, I'm like that. There's some shows I know have ended. I haven't watched the series finals yet because I'm not ready for that. Not ready to go there yet.
Not
I have a
ready.
book series that I never read the last one of because I couldn't. I just couldn't face it being the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to love something for that long and then it'd be over.
But they both guys from Supernatural have done some really great work afterwards. So
Yeah.
which has been great for them that they could continue the momentum of their careers because a lot of times when they've been doing something for so long, it's like what they get stuck in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
That's
Like the cast of Friends.
yeah,
Oh
like
yeah.
the cast of Friends.
Like one of
I
them
mean,
went on to do anything else.
Yeah.
Like everybody from The Office too.
Yeah.
I see them all now like doing commercials together because they just that's all they're known for. A lot of them, not everybody, but a lot of
Except
them.
for Jim, because he got that ridiculous patriotic show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Reacher. No, not that.
He
not
also
Jack
ended up
Reacher.
marrying Emily Blunt too. So
That's
hey,
true. Well, he wrote and directed the Quiet Place
The
movies
Quiet
as
Place,
well.
both of them. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are his
Yeah.
It's
movies.
cool. I didn't know he
Those-
directed.
hmm
Yeah.
Okay,
John
so
Krasinski.
this is the time where you guys plug your socials, your projects, your Kickstarter. The floor is yours.
Suzanne, you want to take this? Ladies first.
So we got our Kickstarter going live April 25th, and we're really excited about that. I hope you'll check it out. And even obviously, if you don't want to or aren't in a position financially to back it, what more than anything, really, we could use help hyping it because especially with a certain social medium that is at the center of my social life and my entire writing career, things are not what we're used to right now. And so having some help getting the word out would be fantastic. And we'd appreciate that. And, if you happen to also like romance, in particular, romance is about, witches fixing curses with sex magic, by all means, check out, it's free to read, A Bouquet of Teases, which is a collection of 12 Valentine's related stories, of which mine is one, and it has that theme. Check us out on Twitter because I'm always writing poems and stories there.
Yep.
Mark?
Check me out on Twitter. It's my main go-to for social media. I have a linktree on my bio, and there are all my my writings for my blog posts, the writings for the online magazine, all the books, my own personal books, like Currents of the Duwat and Wilmot Avenue. The anthologies I have, my short stories have ended up in. So my TikTok, my YouTube. Get to know me as a creator and a writer a little better, and you can understand what we're trying to build and accomplish here. So that's it for me.
Also, to build off what Susanna said, for anybody who doesn't know how Kickstarter works, if you subscribe, like, and share, then that boosts them up on the algorithm on Kickstarter's website. They can become projects we love. that gets them more visibility on the Kickstarter page alone. So you don't always have to back to support. If you subscribe, if you share, that's a big deal too. So even if you're not
Absolutely.
financially able, those shares and those subscribes help a big deal. So
Big amount.
as always, helping with visibility is a big deal to authors and to their projects if you can do that. I am jslarmore. You can find me on Twitter at jax2_0. You can find me on Instagram at jslarmore and on TikTok at Jax the Tiny Raptor. Check out my sponsors, Quill and Crow, on Twitter at Quill and Crow Publishing, on Instagram at Quill and Crow Publishing House, and on TikTok at Quill and Crow Publishing House, and check them out at quillandcrowpublishinghouse.com and at thecrowshop.com for merch and books. They're all awesome and their merch is fantastic and you want it in your life, I swear. Go check it all out.
As somebody who's been published by Quill and Crow in the magazines and in the poetry book, yeah, definitely go check out Quill and Crow. They are fantastic. Sandra knows her stuff. A lot of love for her.
That's right, guys. They are woman owned and operated and very into diversity and inclusion. They're an excellent company. Check them out and show them some love. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for them. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for them. So show them some love. Thank you guys again for coming on Ravens and Writing Desk. It's been so much fun, and
thank you.
I hope we can do it again sometime. And
absolutely,
hopefully.
Yeah, I'll have all
maybe
of their
when
links.
Maybe when the book comes out, we could come back and talk again.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I would love that. Right. We definitely will.
All right.
And I will have all of their links and info in the description. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And thank you for joining us on Ravens and Writing Desks.